Okay, so this is the CGA League match for 14-5. This is the first game I'm doing this season. So this is going to be a slightly more serious game than usual. We have more time. Hopefully it's just going to be overall higher quality. Hold on, today's record is not 0-1. And hopefully it will not be. Okay, so 3-4 point. I'll play d16. If he wants to go for diagonal Fuseki, he's more than welcome to try that. Okay, but he doesn't. So I guess if I do d3 and he plays p16 or p17, yeah, that seems fine. The fact that his stone is at q3 instead of q4, I would think makes p17 slightly worse, if anything. So the question is just whether I d3 or d4. Yeah, it's just d4. There's no strong reason to prefer one over the other. Okay, so he is doing the enclosure there, but instead of having had q3 at q4, yes, there. Oh, sorry. So if q3 was at q4, the normal move would be r10. Given that it is a q3, I wonder if it's better. Jeez, stop. I wonder if it's better to play q5 or r5 instead of r10. I guess the main problem is the threat of the pincer. The pincer then becomes an extension from there, but the problem here is that if he plays like r7, that's also an extension. Yeah, I'm just going q5. See what happens. Fully expecting a pincer here. For him to just do the normal, r5, r6, r4, connect at either q6 or q7, this thing basically seems suboptimal because I'm going to end it by playing at q10. Really doesn't mesh well with what he's doing there. If he goes to r4, I'm really happy. Okay, cool. So I could either do q7 or q6. I don't think there's a huge difference. Do this. Okay, so now he's probably gonna have to play n3 or o3. O3 is more canonical. Okay, o3. So now we got everything we wanted. We can just grab q10 now and be quite happy with our position, I think. The good part about league matches is that they're slower, so I have all the time in the world. Okay, so he's going for an immediate approach at c14 from the inside. I am a-okay with this. Lots of good options here. Do just a simple f17 or g17. I could do a pincer. I don't really have any basis to prefer any of these over the others. Let me just play d11 because why not? I'd really like at some point to get r13. It's not an urgent move, so I can't afford to play it right now. But at some later point, r13 is going to be just a really nice profit. Having given up very, very little to get it. So e14, g16. If he plays at e17, I'm quite happy to just take thickness and play c17. This stone becomes, I think, a really nice, like, distance away from the wall that I'll end up developing here. If this ends in Sente for me, might actually be the right time to grab r13. Okay, he's actually going for a for pincer, counter pincer. It's pretty interesting. Leaves d14 open. Yeah, let's do it. Like, why wouldn't I keep these keep these stones separated? If he plays d13 and I go here, he's still got a cutting point to worry about there. Okay, or he can just do that. Okay, so I guess the main move here is c15, I would imagine. So if I just grab c15, he goes d15, d17, sorry. Then, do I even need to follow that up? Probably wouldn't hurt to just follow that up with c14. And then he plays like k17, he's got the whole top at that point. I can grab r13, so we'll have exchanged these two sides basically for this bigger side. So that's one option. Another option is to play here. You'll have to connect with c16, so we'll do that whole thing. He has to take Gote to fill that in, to protect that cut there, sorry. And then I can attack the f16 stone with like k16. Or even just like j17. That's also not bad. j17, m17. This stone is well placed. Yeah, both of those are seriously worthwhile options, I think. Yeah, let's go for that. That's also going to lead to just interesting games, I think. Does not want to stay. I tried. C15. Only option here. So now he has to protect b14. Probably with, yeah, b14 or b13 would have worked as well. He can play d18 here in Sente, that's fine. So now the question is just how do I attack this stone? I think k16 is a decent way to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a great distance. It's just a question of high or low. I think high is better, especially since his stone is high. He may just do the D18 exchange right now. That would be fine. It's his privilege. I mean, C18 is not Sente for me, but D18 is Sente for him. So if anyone's going to get it, it's going to be him. I do have to make quite a lot of territory out of this, though, because he's at this point he's got 3 corners. Quite solid. I've got not even 1 yet. That's still susceptible to an invasion. But I do have all the thickness in this position, all the influence. Okay, so he's ignoring the F16 stone, which is very brave. So R13 is open, but R13 is open, but of course C6 is much more urgent. I think F4 establish a high position here, and then if I can, you know, grab the whole side. Well, I will be getting the whole side if he just does the normal attach and extend Joseki. I will in fact be ending this with like D7, which works really well with D11. He can reduce it for sure with B11, but how far in can he get? He can't get in that far. He goes B11, I go C11. If he steps out to B10, then this is a problem. He can't cut there because of that. Actually, he can cut underneath. After that, he just goes Atari here. If I capture, he connects there. It'll be at least a ko. That's fine. That would be a good problem to have at some point. We're surprisingly not behind on the clock by very much. I'm not sure what he's thinking about because there's not that many good options for black here. I mean, E3, E4, both seem pretty bad. This seems fairly equitable if he just plays G4 here. Yeah, G4. I mean, it's almost certainly bad for me to do this, right? He's gonna get F5, I connect out there, and then... Is it? Maybe I do E3 here? E3, F5, connect. Yeah, I kind of like it. If I just do this, he actually can get some forcing moves around C7, C6, aiming at B11. And it just makes less corner territory, and I need to, like, this is my one corner. I need to get more, as much as I can out of it territorially. Yeah, for sure he's going to do that. So now the question is how he protects the G3 and G5 cuts. That's going to determine a lot of the next few moves. It probably helps determine the whole direction of the game. Okay, so he's protecting this cut in a very ambitious way. Hold on. No, whatever. So obviously I have g3 later on whenever I want, which is nice. This is what I wanted. Strong territory. Yeah, there's basically just a lot of weaknesses here. I could take advantage of them right now, or I could just play something like e7. Keep those options open, but just take some secure territory. I think I like e7 here. If he just plays g3, I've still got like n4 to reduce, which I think should be enough. This is going to be a huge swash of territory. b11 becomes very urgent. This stone can start jumping out, aiming at this. But anyway, nothing I do here is going to change that fact. So I might as well play e7 now. I think n5 is pretty huge for him here. If he plays n5, I might have to just immediately start like h4ing. And if he plays something like g3, h3, then I have to play n3, I think. Or n4, sorry. Pretty soon. Yeah, okay. So g3. Even if I play something fairly large like r13, if he plays n5, it's going to be very hard to invade here. This thickness is very good. So I think I have to do this now. Force him to just make third line territory here. This gets him like 2 or 3 extra lines of territory. It's like 20 points. So I think that's more important than r13 now. I can almost treat r13 and n17 as Miai. And b11, there's so many big points. b11, r13, n14, n17, sorry. So his options here are either n3, okay. So his other option was 04, which I'd be happy to play n5, and then Hane at 06. But instead he just plays n3, which is fine. Exchanging third line for fourth line here is not, the best thing in the world, but it's the best that I can hope for. Okay, so he's just gonna get out here. I think at this point I can Tanuki safely. R13, B11, or N17. Strong arguments in favor of all of those, but I mean, the argument could be made that I should treat R13 and N17. Why do I keep saying N14? R14 or N17 as Miai, and then take B11, which does not have Miai. But B11 seems like a really small move. Not small, sorry, it's not small. It seems like a not urgent move. Oh no, I'm dropping frames. Yeah, let me know if the frame droppage is too bad. B11. Okay, let's say I don't take B11. Let's say I take R14. What is his best option? What's my best option after black B11? Black B11, C11, B10, B12. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so B11 is actually pretty big. Then if he plays m17, can I just grab r13 or r14 at that point? Or is it just going to be... Yeah, sorry about the stream delay. CGA is the Canadian Go Association. It's like the AGA, but for Canada. No, right? If he plays m17, I have to treat that as Sente, because otherwise k18 is a lifeline for f16. I still feel like b11 is non-negotiable. n17, b11. What if... Okay, I just have to take b11. It's too big to not take. n17 and r14 will have to just fend for themselves. I'm really curious what the the really high level opinion of b11 would be. If it's just too slow, or if it's too big to ignore. Kind of both. Okay, he's just playing L5, which I think is not the biggest thing on the board. I am kind of priced into playing L5. For the same reason that I played N4 in the first place. If I let him just grab L5, it's too much territory on the bottom. No, maybe it's not. I don't think I really need to respond. It doesn't seem as big as some of these other moves. So, which one, N17 or R14? Or even R13? Yeah, R14 might be too ambitious. I might actually... All those times that I said R14, I think I should have said R13. Same, I mean, N17 is always correct. Yeah, N17 seems huge. He jumps out here. Yeah, N17. There's no way this is bad. It's maybe not the biggest, but it's certainly huge. He's gonna have to play like R12 or R13 here. There's just no other option. So we're seeing the beginnings of a framework developing here. Especially if he plays like R13. Instead of protecting this territory here, I could go over top of it and try to make a large scale framework here. Now Bai says he'd be greedy and grab R14. Do you mean instead of N17? Oh, you mean instead of R13. I see. So R14, and then if he invades at R12, then just use the strength. Yeah, I think that's a fair decision. Okay, so he's going for the Hane here, which I'm actually pretty happy about. Because it gives me this, it limits the Moyo a bit, but it makes it a lot more secure, because my biggest problem was F14, and now I can get that. I'm like pushed into that. He obviously wants me to go here. Okay, what happens if I go here and he cuts at E14? Yeah, bad things happen, right? So I need to do this, which is fine. That's what I want to be doing anyway. So happy I have B11. Yeah, okay. I'm so on board with this. He might play E13, in which case F15 makes good shape. Yep. Okay, so the shape move here is F15. I'm happy to make it. So this is now fairly solid. Let's assume he plays D18 at some point. Okay, or this point. Yeah, why not? Okay, so he's clearly cashing in on the Aji of the stone. He's willing to give it up. Okay, this is interesting. Do I need to connect here? Yeah, I do because of F18. F18, I go here, he connects. Yeah, okay. So I do need to do this. This is slightly better. Okay, so how many points am I going to get here? I'm going to get like 1, 2, 3. This is about 30 points, let's say. And this is going to be, assuming I get all of it, which I think is a safe assumption, it's going to be like probably another about 35 points here. So this is 65 points already, and probably another 15 or so points. So I've got about 75 points plus Komi already, which is a good amount. He has 10. He's probably got about 40 here, 12 here, 12 here so far, assuming he doesn't get R13 or R14. So I think we're pretty, I'm a little bit ahead at this point, and I'll be way ahead if I get R13 or R14. If I don't get R13 or R14, then I'm no longer ahead. I think it becomes really close. Maybe I'm squeaking out a minor edge. So overall, the opening is coming to an end, and I'm pretty happy with how we've come out of the opening. And that B11 stone, which I was very hesitant about at first, I think is really pulling its weight. It's showing the strength. Like, imagine if B11 was not here, how bad this would be right now. Like, he would have so much attack potential with like D8 or something. So I'm very glad I played it. We're back to almost time parity. I think I think R13 has to be the biggest move on the board. Okay, so he's going for an invasion anyway. Not sure that this is a good plan for him. Especially since I can do this to keep Sente. So I play here, he has to connect in Sente. Well, he doesn't have to, but he probably should. And then I can get like this as well. It's gotta be good, right? And if he decides to just dive in at c7, which was probably his, well, c7 or d9 or something like that, which was probably his plan if I just connected the peep instead of doing this. If he just continues on with that plan, then the cut at c13 is actually, I think, fairly significant because, well, okay, sure, it's like 5 or 6 points in pure profit, but it's also preventing him from reducing my moyo from this side at all. So at that point, O15 and like H10 become, or G10 become really, really valuable. So still happy with the position. We're still doing what we want to be doing. I wonder if he considered C12 or if he just thought about the peep, about connecting the peep. If he just plays at C13, is D10 wiser than any of the other stuff I might have thought of? Probably still rather play C8, right? Okay, C13, C8, and then he just dives into C11. What happens there? I connect here. Plays there. Okay. So he is going for whatever his plan was if I had played C11 instead of C12. So C13 is there on the board, waiting for me to take it. But I don't need to play it right away. If I just play it right away now, he's going to play D8 and wreck this entire thing. So I'm going to play here. Or here. Or here. I think this is best. Just force him into bad shape. If he plays, well, if he plays the honey at D9, then cut, obviously. If he plays D10, then I have to be conscious of the fact that I have the C13 cut, so I'm not going to play, like if I were to play C13 or Tanuki, okay. If I play C13 or Tanuki, he'd have E11 to wrap these stones around and connect out anyway. So I really want to keep these stones separate if I possibly can. Okay, so if I go here, he plays D10, I cut, he ataris, dunk, and then he goes into there. No, he can't, right? C9. Yeah, so that's great. So he's probably just going to play E10, I connect, he connects here to prevent C13, and then I grab this, which is totally fine. He's reduced me by like 1 line tops. And we have secured this and grabbed R13, R14, and Sente. I'm A-okay with this. Okay, he is going for it. Even if I give up those 3 stones, I'm still okay here, and I'm not going to give them up. I don't think I'll have to. Okay, that's an interesting move, for sure. Oops. This chair. I had not considered that. Okay. So... what happens if I just play B9? Then that definitely lives. Yeah, it might be as simple as that. But then he gets like D6. But then I get C13. Seems like a fair exchange. Is there anything better? If I go here, here. Okay, I think I have to do b9, which is not a bad thing. If he does c9, c8, Atari, this is Atari 2. I can just grab e11 later. Yeah, there's nothing really to be scared of here. E11, boom, boom, boom. I'll have 1, 2, 3 liberties versus 1, 2. So that'll be okay. He can go c7. Okay. Wow, I'm really calling all these shots. I've called like all of his moves so far. So he's playing c7, aiming to reduce here, which it's certainly going to accomplish, but in Gote. So I'm going to play here so that I don't have to worry about e11 at any point in the future. He's going to have to capture the stone. With e6. Then I can grab c13 now if I wanted to. But I don't think it's as important as r13. Yeah. Okay. So, how important is c13 right now? I think it's actually pretty important. If I don't play it, and he does, do I need to do this first though? Okay, this first, just to prevent the immediate f10. So this first, he responds by capturing or something. And then c13 really makes this a lot larger. Okay, so I am going to do that. Does this leave me with any shortages of liberties? No, it doesn't. Thanks to c9. Okay, so I can just cut. He obviously has the privilege of f10. That's fine. Okay, so now there is huge framework potential at the top. And that has to be part of my plan now. I am a little bit worried about c3. There are some shenanigans he could possibly be pulling around c3, but I have the connection underneath here around b7 or somewhere around there to probably get me through that. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. At this point, I'm wondering if R13 or even just like O15 is bigger here. O15 might actually just be straight up more profitable. Like if I play R13, he plays O15, I'm pretty upset, right? Whereas if I play O15, he plays R13, R11, tit for tat. Okay, so he is going for the thing I was a little bit scared of. Well, the thing I was really scared of was C3. This is considerably less scary, I think. I just want to be sure I don't screw something up here. Okay, so let's say I just play C3. He plays D2. I play E2. He plays B3. That could be bad, yeah. Could be, I'm not actually sure. Okay, if I play C4, he plays B3, and I go B5. Atari. Tricky. What if I go B3 and he goes C3? Actually, what if he just goes C4? C3, E2, D2 connect. I think C3 is just my best option here. And then if he goes B3, B2, A2, well, I do like C. Okay, so C5, B5, B6, cut, B7. And then he has to play C3 and try to live in the corner. Let's try to read through this. Like B3, C4, B4. Oh, sorry. B3, C4, C3. E2, D2, F2. Do I have anything against those two stones? No. Okay, just C3. B3. D2. Okay, I think that works. So C3, if he goes B3, Then we go d2, and we kind of make mi out of f2 and a2. Or b2, sorry. For the second eye. I think it works unless there's something around c4. But maybe we can find a spot to nab c4 and Sente, since it does kind of threaten the b5 cut. I'd be really bummed if we... This game was going really well. It was a nice game. It'd be a real bummer if we lose it just because we misread a corner. Okay, d2. So if he plays b2, and we play f2. Yeah, that doesn't work. If we play d2 and he goes b2, and we go f2, and then he can go c2, force us to play c4. What if we go b2 first? He goes a2. Then we go d2. If he goes b1, we go f2. I feel like this has a solution. There's a solution here. I just have to be very careful. d2, b2, f2. Okay, yeah, so d2 definitely does not work. b2, on the other hand, is a ko. Yeah. b2 is our best shot, I think. It's quite a good shot. And if he goes e2, then d2 connect, c1, and then if he wants to eliminate the eye at d3 with c4, then we just get another one with a2. We did, however, burn a lot of time with that move. So hopefully that does not come back and bite us. Famous last words. Okay. So he's going for that. Okay, so I did consider that. So if I do e2, c2, sorry, not biased. I'm not dying yet. e2, c2, b2. Then he has to play c1. And I've got some tactics around c5 for sure. Okay, well I think we can all agree that e2 is the first move. There's no way we're not starting with e2, so I might as well just play it. Okay. So now, if I play a2, and he plays b1, what if I play b1? He plays f2. Yeah, that's obviously nice. Okay, so I think I have to do f2, a2. The tactic at b5 I think is going to come in handy here. Okay, so he's just going straight up for b1. Okay, so if I do c1, d1, e1, and then he plays at a3. There's a tactic here somewhere, I feel it. Okay, I have to kind of go for it. Okay, so I'm thinking c1, d1, e1. He's gonna play a3. I'm gonna play b5. He's gonna go c4, c5. Yeah, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. This has to work. Even if it ends with him making life in the corner with a2, if I can get b5, c5, and then connect underneath at b7, that's still okay. Okay. Do I want to do b3 right away? b5. Okay, I'm starting to think this doesn't work at all. That I was just seeing things. I go b5, a3, c4. I think I should have just played b5 without doing. Oh no, I had to do so. Okay, well, there's certainly no line that works that doesn't involve starting with b5, so I'm just going to start with b5. Okay, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so if I just do a3, oh, sorry, if I just do c4, if I go here, it doesn't have to do anything in the corner. So I have to Atari, play a7, or b7, wait for him to do c5, connect. If I go here, he just goes b7, right? Right. Oh, I might have screwed this completely up. I think I did just screw this up. In fact, I'm sure I screwed this up. Okay, so now the question is the game retrievable? Having just given up like 40 points? No, it's not retrievable. Not to mention, I'm at 0 corners in the best case scenario here. I misread that pretty badly. She just flat out terribly. Everything was going so well until b4. Yeah, I'm trying tricks, but yeah, I'm gonna struggle a little more, but I don't think it's gonna work. So if I go c6 here, d5, Atari. Okay, let's try this. Oh no, that's not gonna work. He doesn't have to play d5. He can just play c5. C6, whatever. How did we screw that up so badly? I do not see a co. And don't tell me until after the game. Okay, no, there isn't. Yeah, this almost, but not quite works. Yeah, show it to me after the game. Okay, so he's gonna capture. No, he's not. Okay. Got 2 liberties. Yeah, there's no more hope at all. I go here, he goes e1. Well, that was anticlimactic. It was a good game, and then b3 happened, or b4, wherever it was. Okay. So this was really the turning point. Okay, up until here. Okay, let's say that I'd never grabbed c13 and just did like b5. At some later point he grabs that. Do I need to, okay, if I just go here and he goes boom, boom. No, okay, so I don't need to worry about that. So I could in fact like go here. So in that situation, white's actually like way ahead. Way ahead. Well, I realize I can't actually trust the squash estimator, but still, it's pretty clear, even just visually. Okay, my opponent's saying I think d2 instead of b2 might have lived. Let's see. So I thought of d2. So here's the problem with d2. There. Oh, but then I just do this. Yep. Okay, so the misread was actually much later than that. I was still fine up until here. So remember when I was reading this and I thought, yeah, it's all my fault. So basically when I was doing this, I misread. So I thought after this, this, I was like, okay, well, this is now false I, and white's dead. It's not actually the case. If white goes here, black goes there, this is now real I. And if black connects, then the I shifts from here to F1 with that. And I'd be fine. So, yeah, the move that I spent the longest time on was actually the one I screwed up on. Interesting. So if I had done that, the score would once again have been, well, even with... Yeah, the score is far in white's favor. That would have been totally good. Well, let's go. You can play well for an hour, but then one misread. All gone. Alright, well. We were playing well the whole time, I think. This was an interesting decision. I think it ended up turning out really well, better than this would have. Especially since if I Tanuki here, he still has Aji there. Well, I mean, it's not like super strong Aji or anything, but there's something there. Nothing to lose sleep over, but I'm happy with the way things turned out. Up to here, actually, I was happy with the way things turned out all the way up until here. Alright. Well, it is what it is. Thank you for watching, guys. I have some work stuff to do, so I'm only going to play this one game today. It was a slower game anyway. And today's Thanksgiving anyway, so you should be eating turkey instead of watching me lose. But thank you for watching. Thanks Not Biased for the moral support. And I will see you guys on Wednesday.